Apple's modular iPhone Ultra has been in development since 2022, but there's just one problem. Apple didn't really consider everything when putting it together. Let me explain. Modular smartphones aren't really a new idea. Plenty have taken a stab at it before Apple and failed, a lot of which have been met at the door by Android in previous attempts, as many of you may be aware of. For example, we had the Moto Z series, which used Moto mods that attached to the back of the phone and provided extra functionality via pins on the back of the phone. And this was debatably modular, but there were a ton of Moto mods available. I mean, we had a stereo speaker mod, a mini projector mod, expandable battery pack, a 360 camera, and others. Moto mods were probably the most consumer-friendly way to package a modular phone idea, and it was a pretty clean experience, and the Moto mods, honestly, they worked pretty well. The LG G5 was another smartphone that took a very light stab at modularity. I mean, they literally only had, I believe, one attachment, which was like a camera attachment that would give you more of a grip on your phone. Outside of that, there wasn't really anything else that came out with it, so that was a big fail in my book. Now, probably the most hyped modular smartphone was Project Ara from Google. And this unfortunately never made it out of the concept phase. It was really promising though, and if anybody was going to be able to do it right at the time, it was definitely Google. But like I said, kind of just fell apart. If everybody is so hyped about modular smartphones and have been hyped for the last 10 years, why are we just seeing Apple take a stab at this now, and what can we expect? So while this Apple hardware doesn't actually exist in the physical realm yet, at least not to my knowledge, the patent was applied for in 2022 and just published just like a week ago in 2024. So if that tells you anything, this process is very long, and I highly doubt that people have just been sitting there at Apple twiddling their thumbs while this patent just waits to get approved and published. Anyway, I first learned about this patent through the blog Patently Apple, and there's a full 40-page patent document. If you want to read the whole thing for yourself, I will leave the article and all the information linked down below in the description. The patent lays out a new design from Apple that would allow for modular attachments, meaning like literally the whole back cover would be removed and you could add these attachments onto your phone. Now, the patent shows attachments such as a battery pack, a rear-facing display, a supplemental camera lens, speakers, and even a glucose monitor and other health monitoring sensors. Now, this all feels very similar to the Moto Z series, with the exception that the iPhone would just have the entire back cover removed. But that being said, I really don't think that that is Apple style. I mean, think about it. They're not gonna give you an iPhone that you can just expose all the internals of by removing the back cover. Apple already has a MagSafe connector on the iPhone, which will allow anything to magnetically adhere to the back of the phone. Plus, we also have the smart connector pogo pin setup that is on the iPads that allows for like the smart keyboard attachment to connect. Marry those two together and you have the perfect storm of like a Moto Z copycat that would allow for attachments on the back of the iPhone. And honestly, 10 years ago, the modular thing was way ahead of its time. It's not surprising to me that it didn't catch on at the time when it was first brought up, but I mean, now we're in 2024. I mean, we've got foldables, we have all kinds of new technology coming out. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like this from Apple. Then again, Apple's always late to the game with stuff. Do you think 10 years is late enough, or are they going to wait a little bit longer? I would love to know your comments down in that comment section below. But for me, I don't know. Modular smartphones would be pretty cool, but I don't think we're ready for it.